you'd be like, damn. And you find out it was all fake. Or you're at least like, why would a woman do that? Why would she make it up? Because she wants money. That's why. And I think, not to be a woman's advocate, or sorry, a man's advocate, but I do think it unfortunately, uh there is none, right? We automatically believe what the woman says. And I don't think that's always the right thing to do. I don't know, because women are a bit convincing. They can we don't know the real from the fake. Like, there are women who have absolutely been harmed, and I am sending my love and light to those women, but there are women that be like, "Oh, oh, I was in a room with him before too. I'm about to
Yeah.
sue." Like, there, it just happened. So I think it's important. I think it makes sense for a man, especially if you have resources, not to be in a room with a woman one on one by yourself. I think that's smart. I think that's good
I think
business.
that's good business practice. I mean, actually, I was taught that growing up. My mother was always like, you be very careful with who you're in the room with, and you sometimes you may have to have someone in there with you because you need to be in a safe situation. And I will be the first to tell you guys here, and this is not something that I talk about publicly, but I am going to share it. There was one time I was in a room with someone I absolutely trusted, spiritual person,
Mm-hmm.
spiritual person growing up in the church, and that person completely put out lies, so much so that he wanted me out of the church. And because he had the authority to do that and there was no one else in the room, I didn't have a choice but to bow down to what they wanted me to do. So, I learned from that lesson that I would never do that again. But with all that being said, Marlo, what does this mean for women who are trying to really break into what we sometimes see as a male dominated industry?
Yeah.
It means you need to be prepared to protect yourself as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
The same way that the man, it is in good faith for him to have a third party in the room and to not be alone with that woman. It's the same for her, right? If the room is full, once y'all start working, once you see people filtering out, that's your cue to make your way out, right? I think sometimes people want to be nice. Sometimes you don't want to be seen as, you're not hardworking or you're not this or you're not that. But sometimes you have to be about your business, and being about your business is not putting yourself in a situation that could stunt your business, right? Because if you get in a situation with him, and he also, in some situations, he may feel like, oh, she saw everybody leaving and she ain't leave, so she's with the move, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's all of this unspoken stuff that's going on, especially when you're in a creative situation. We
Mm-hmm.
here, we creating, we got juices flowing. Hell, maybe we writing about love. Maybe we writing about passion and sex, right? Maybe that's what the vibe is in the room. Well, it's incumbent on everybody, if you're not trying to vibe on the sex that you create the vibe of in the room, that you just excuse yourself.